140 inches of snow is about to slam the Sierra Nevada. That's nearly 12 feet, taller than most NBA players. Chicago could see up to 12 inches with life-threatening cold, and Milwaukee is bracing for full-on blizzard conditions. And here's the kicker. While the north gets buried, severe thunderstorms with 60 miles per hour winds and tornado potential are targeting the south. After what's been a pretty boring week, how many of you actually checked your weather app this week? The pattern is about to shift in a major way. We've got multiple storms lined up like dominoes, ready to fall one after another through the end of February. This is not a drill, folks. The atmosphere is waking up, and it's about to get very active very fast. Drop your city in the comments right now. I want to know where you're watching from and what you're hoping this pattern brings you. And if you've got family anywhere from the Rockies to the East Coast, do me a favor and share this with them, because this affects everyone. Stick with me through the entire breakdown, because at the end, I've got some intel about a spring tease that could change your plans next week. All right, let me set the stage here, because understanding what's driving this pattern shift explains why the next 2 weeks will be so wild. Compared to the crazy end of January when we had that polar vortex situation, the past 5 to 7 days have been almost too quiet. Well, enjoy the calm while it lasts, because that's about to change in a big way starting right now. There's energy already moving ashore out west as we speak. A very strong trough digging in just off the coast of California. And check out this atmospheric river, basically a fire hose of moisture pointed straight at the mountains. When that fire hose hits cold mountain air, you get feet of snow, and I mean feet, not inches. This moisture will eventually feed our next storm system that crosses the entire lower 48 over the weekend. But here's the thing, this is only the beginning, because this active storm track is likely to continue through the end of the month. The models are showing storm after storm after storm, and when I say dominoes, I mean it literally. One piece of energy dives in, crosses the country, and before it's even done, another one is right behind it. We're talking at least 3 to 4 different storm systems over the next 10 days, so buckle up, it's going to be a wild ride. Now let me give you the details on storm number 1, because this is the most immediate threat hitting this weekend. Our models have finally come into better agreement on how this will unfold, and it's a pretty classic setup called a Baja Low. In plain English, this trough or piece of energy over California is sliding south into the Baja California region by tomorrow morning. There's a lot of spin and lift associated with this, which creates a surface low pressure system that will track eastward. By overnight Friday into Saturday, this crosses the four corners, bringing rain and snow to Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. Then by Saturday afternoon, this piece of energy works into the southern plains, and that's when things get real interesting. Now here's some good news for those who are worried about a major nor'easter, and I know a lot of you are asking about this. The European model thought this might turn into a big coastal bomb, but it's now backing off and moving toward the GFS solution. Basically, the northern and southern pieces of energy that needed to connect to create a monster storm are going to miss each other. No Valentine's Day hookup between those two systems, so the GFS got this one right and the European was wrong. You don't see that every day, folks, but this is exactly why we use multiple models and not just rely on one. Now that doesn't mean this storm won't have impacts, because it absolutely will. Just not the major nor'easter some were hyping up. Now let me break down the severe weather timeline, because this is the most immediate danger for millions of people in the South. Tomorrow, Friday the 13th, and yes, I know that sounds ominous, severe weather begins across western Texas. This includes the Lubbock and Midland area up into Wichita Falls, so West Texas, you're up first. We're talking gusty winds up to 60 miles per hour, quarter-size hail, and an isolated brief tornado threat. Now let me explain the setup in terms everyone can understand, because the technical stuff actually matters here. Dew points, which basically measure how much moisture is in the air, will be rising into the 50s and low 60s. In plain English, that means the air is going to be thick and humid, perfect fuel for strong thunderstorms. When you combine that moisture with the wind shear, which is basically wind changing speed and direction with height, storms can rotate. And when storms rotate near the surface, that's when tornadoes become possible. So that's why we watch this setup closely. Saturday, Valentine's Day, is when the severe threat shifts further east into East Texas, southeast Oklahoma, southern Arkansas, and Louisiana. This includes the I-35 corridor, parts of I-10, Dallas-Fort Worth, Shreveport, Monroe, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, all the way to Houston. The warm sector on Saturday looks larger, moving up into southeastern Oklahoma and central Arkansas. That's more fuel for storms. You've got the dry line and cold front to the west, the warm front to the north. That's a textbook recipe for severe weather. The instability values could hit around 1,000 joules per kilogram. Not June levels, but definitely enough for damaging storms. And here's what really concerns me. The low-level jet on Saturday looks more robust, especially east of I-35. That low-level jet is basically a river of fast-moving air a few thousand feet up, and it's crucial for tornado development. It helps storms rotate near the surface, and on Saturday, that jet is aimed right at Louisiana and western Mississippi. Sunday is when the severe weather shifts to the bayous of Louisiana, Hattiesburg, southern Mississippi, and the Florida Panhandle. We could see multiple waves of storms Sunday with an organized setup, and southern Alabama and Georgia need to stay alert. Now, I'm not expecting a major tornado outbreak, but maybe a couple tornadoes are definitely not out of the question. Real quick, if you're anywhere from Texas to the Florida Panhandle right now, this is serious and I need you to hear me. Do you have a NOAA weather radio or phone alert set up that will wake you if a tornado warning is issued overnight? Because these storms are expected to move through between midnight and 6 a.m. Sunday, exactly when people are in their deepest sleep. Overnight tornadoes are the most dangerous kind because people don't hear the warnings until it's too late. Southern viewers, I've got a question for you. When's the last time you checked your storm shelter or safe room? Now might be a good time. Let me know your plan in the comments. I genuinely want to know that you're prepared for this. Now let me shift to the snow side of this pattern, because the north has its own story developing, and it's a big one. Chicago, 15 to 25 degrees with up to 6 inches of snow possible, and some models are showing up to 12 inches. And when I say life-threatening cold, I mean it. We're talking wind chills that can cause frostbite in under 30 minutes. Milwaukee is even worse, 12 to 22 degrees with up to 7 inches of snow and blizzard conditions possible. Minneapolis, 10 to 20 degrees with up to 8 inches of snow and extreme cold with wind gusts hitting 30 miles per hour. Detroit, 18 to 28 degrees with 5 inches of snow and a winter storm watch in effect. Travel is going to be an absolute mess. Indianapolis, 20 to 30 degrees with 4 inches of snow and travel advisories. Plan for serious delays if you're heading out. Cleveland, 22 to 32 degrees with up to 4 inches of snow and potential blizzard conditions. Heavy snow is definitely on the table. Des Moines, 18 to 28 degrees with 5 inches of heavy snow forecast. The I-80 corridor is going to be absolutely treacherous. If you're in the Midwest watching right now, let me know in the comments. Are you ready for this? Do you have your snow gear out? Now here's a reality check for you Midwest folks, and I really want you to understand what this cold means practically. When I say life-threatening cold, I mean if you're stranded in your car without proper gear, you could be in serious trouble within hours. Keep blankets, water, snacks, and a fully charged phone in your vehicle if you absolutely have to travel this weekend. Better yet, if you don't have to go out, just stay home, make some hot cocoa, and watch the snow fall from inside. All right, we're about halfway through now, and if you've made it this far, stick around because the extended outlook is where things get really interesting. And remember that spring tease I mentioned at the beginning? We're getting to that in just a few minutes. Trust me, it's worth the wait. Now let me cover the East Coast because you've got a different setup, but still some impacts to watch. Pittsburgh, 25 to 35 degrees with about 3 inches of snow. Arctic cold and snow showers, nothing crazy, but roads will be slick. Boston, 25 to 32 degrees with 3 inches of snow showers Friday night. Highs in the mid-30s for Valentine's Day. New York City, 28 to 35 degrees with 2 inches of spotty snow. Wind chills dropping below 20 degrees. Bundle up out there. Philadelphia, 30 to 38 degrees with about 2 inches of snow. Potential rain-snow mix late in the weekend. Washington, D.C., 32 to 37 degrees with about an inch of snow. Northwest winds at 12 miles per hour. And here's the thing, watch for black ice. When I say black ice, I mean ice you literally cannot see until your car is already sliding. It's invisible and dangerous. It forms when temps drop below freezing after wet roads, so early morning commutes Monday are going to be especially risky. The corridor from Northern Virginia through Southern Pennsylvania into New Jersey could pick up a quick 1 to 3 inches, but the highest snow totals from this system are going to be out west and in the Great Lakes, not the East Coast this time. Now let me cover what's happening out west, because that's where the truly jaw-dropping numbers are piling up. The Sierra Nevada mountains are looking at 80 to 140 inches of additional snowfall over the next 10 days. Let me say that again because your ears might not believe it. Up to 140 inches. That's taller than most NBA players. If you stack that snow up, you'd need a ladder just to see over the top of it. That's how much we're talking about. The Cascades in Oregon and Washington. The Rockies across Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Four Corners region. All getting absolutely hammered. This is phenomenal news for skiers, phenomenal news for water reservoirs that have been running dangerously low all winter. But if you're traveling through mountain passes this weekend, chain up and respect the conditions, no exceptions. Salt Lake City, 22 to 32 degrees with 4 inches of snow in the valleys, much more in the mountains. Wet northwest pattern continuing. Denver, 25 to 35 degrees with 3 inches of snow showers, not super impactful, but enough to make roads slick. Seattle, 35 to 45 degrees with over an inch of rain. Snow in the mountains, wetter than average conditions continuing. San Francisco, 48 to 58 degrees with nearly an inch of rain. Fog Friday and Saturday with gusty winds. Phoenix and Tucson, 50 to 70 degrees and bone dry. You desert folks are staying comfortable while the rest of us deal with this chaos. All right, but before you curse all this rain, let me show you the silver lining, because this moisture is actually desperately needed. A lot of the South and Southeast has been dealing with drought conditions for months, so this rainfall is exactly what the doctor ordered. Dallas, 45 to 55 degrees with 1.5 inches of rain. Severe hail possible Friday, storms continuing Saturday. Houston, New Orleans, 55 to 65 degrees with up to 2 inches of rain. Heavy rain and severe thunderstorms, wind gust 40 to 60 miles per hour. Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi, 50 to 60 degrees with 2 inches of rain. Good shot at severe weather. This is your day to stay alert. Birmingham, 45 to 55 degrees with over an inch of rain, multiple waves of storms Sunday with an organized setup. Atlanta, 50 to 60 degrees with about an inch of rain, storms Sunday with hail risk, instability increasing through the day. Nashville, 38 to 48 degrees with nearly an inch of rain, cloudy weekend with isolated storm chances. Charlotte, 32 to 40 degrees with 1 to 2 inches of snow, winter weather warning in effect. This is the Carolinas' main event. Raleigh, 30 to 38 degrees with 2 inches of snow. Could be more if the system overperforms. Cold 20s and 30s continuing. I know I'm covering a lot of cities here, but hang with me, because what happens this weekend sets up the entire rest of February. Now let me give you the extended outlook. And remember those dominoes I mentioned at the beginning? Well, here's the second one already tipping, and the third one is right behind it. This pattern is absolutely loaded. After this first system moves through, another big trough is going to dive out west by early next week, around the 17th and 18th. You're going to get a lot of little spin-ups along this flow, embedded short waves in the overall long wave pattern. It's just one storm after another, and by the end of next week, another piece of energy dives in and crosses the country. A strong storm system is likely in the northern plains by Tuesday or Wednesday, and that could bring high impacts for somebody. Heavy snow on the northwest side where it's coldest. That part is pretty straightforward. But then there's this tricky zone in the middle where temps are right around 32 degrees. And that's where you get sleet and freezing rain. That transition zone is actually the most dangerous for driving because ice accumulates on roads and bridges before you even realize it. And then on the warm sector to the south, severe weather including tornadoes becomes the main threat again. The following weekend, around February 21st and 22nd, another significant low pressure could develop with similar impacts. So we're looking at a loaded pattern with at least 3 to 4 major systems through the end of the month. Winter is not done with us yet. Now here's the part I promised you at the beginning, the spring tease that's coming for many of you, and it's actually pretty exciting. By next Wednesday and Thursday, check out this big block of warmer air building into the eastern United States. We're talking 10 to 20 plus degrees above average, and I know exactly what that means for a lot of you. The weeds are going to start growing back. You might actually enjoy being outside without 5 layers of clothing. Some of you are going to be tempted to fire up the grill for the first time this year, and honestly, I don't blame you one bit. If you haven't had a taste of spring yet this year, I think you'll get one by middle of next week. Enjoy it while it lasts. But don't put away your winter gear just yet, because this is a fake spring, not the real thing. The true Arctic air is sitting in our backyard up in British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan, just waiting. Shots of cold will keep filtering down, and by the last week of February, the northern tier stays cold while the south gets spring warmth. So we're looking at a split pattern: winter in the north, spring teaser in the south, and active weather for everyone in between. Here's what I need you to do based on where you are right now, because different regions need completely different game plans. If you're in the severe weather zone from Texas to the Florida Panhandle, be weather aware Friday through Monday, no exceptions. Make sure your phone alerts are on, know where your safe spot is, and have a plan for those overnight storms Saturday night. If you're in the Great Lakes or Midwest, prepare for significant snow and dangerous cold. This is absolutely the real deal. Stock up on supplies today, not tomorrow. Charge your devices, and if you have to travel, keep emergency gear in your vehicle. If you're in the Carolinas or Mid-Atlantic, watch for that winter weather mix. Roads could get slick faster than you expect. Don't go out and buy all the bread and milk just yet. You know how that goes, but definitely have a plan ready just in case. If you're heading to the mountains out west, respect the avalanche danger with this much new snow loading the slopes. Check those forecasts before you go anywhere, because 80 to 140 inches of snow means serious, potentially deadly backcountry hazards. I want to hear from you before I wrap up. Your ground level observations genuinely help verify everything I'm forecasting. If you're in the severe weather zone as storms develop, let me know what you're seeing out there in real time. If you're dealing with snow in the Midwest or East, share your totals in the comments as they pile up throughout the weekend. And if you've got family or friends anywhere in the path of these systems, share this video with them right now. That's what we're all about here, looking out for each other when the weather gets serious. Here's what you need to watch tomorrow specifically. Severe storms firing up in western Texas by afternoon and evening. Saturday, the focus shifts to East Texas, Louisiana, and the Deep South. That's your highest tornado risk day this weekend. The models update tonight around 6 p.m., and if anything major shifts with the severe weather track, I'll be back with updated numbers. We've got 140 inches of mountain snow on the way, up to 12 inches possible in Chicago, severe storms from Texas to Florida. And this is just the first domino falling, with 3 to 4 more systems lined up through the end of February. Stay safe out there. Look out for your neighbors, especially the elderly who might need help. And don't let any of these storms catch you off guard. I'll see you in the next update, because trust me, folks, this pattern shift is just getting started.